All right, everybody. What a joyous night, right? Let everybody start piling in and a lot to talk about. I hate the Dodgers, by the way, too, just in case. So, golly, man, what a crazy last 2 outs that was in the ninth inning. But they'll find a way to win the World Series, too. So that'll add to the night. But anyway, I don't really know what to say anymore. We'll continue to let people jump in. And
this post-game reaction show brought to you by PepperTree Steaks and Wine. We love PepperTree Montgomery, PepperTree off of Bent Creek in Auburn. I mean, how awesome is PepperTree? I could really use some of their food in their wine right now after this.
Something.
But you love PepperTree.
Love PepperTree, yeah, absolutely. Can always use some great food from there for sure. So make sure you head on over. All right, a lot of people pumping in. Justin can't have a walk-off, man, because they're in the top of the inning. So at least the Blue Jays will get another shot at it. We'll see how that happens, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about an Auburn football team that managed to kick a field goal against Kentucky. And I said it all week on the podcast. There's no way to spin this. An absolute must-win. I said that if you're a program that is moving in the right direction after a win over Arkansas, you come in with a team that's 0-5 in league play and as bad defensively as Kentucky, and you win the game convincingly. What the heck with that? How about if Connor Boley doesn't make an absolutely horrendous throw before halftime? We don't score any points. We get shut out. And again, let me remind everybody, we got comments coming through like a stock market ticker tape over here, and we appreciate all of them so much. But if you want your comment for sure read, you need to do the super chat option there. And again, it's not like we're sitting here telling you to pay for stuff. I'm just saying there's no way we're going to be able to get to all these comments tonight, but we want them coming in. But you know, you and I just left the press conference. You and I both got a chance to ask a question. I tried to get the first question. I mean, I think I had my hand up before I even walked in. And the first question was about the offense struggling, and then I think it was a follow-up. But then I'm sorry, I just had to get straight to the point. How do you get the confidence of the team back? I mean, you and I were standing there when they were coming off the field, and I don't know.
Not a single person. It was all embarrassment and shame.
Sprinting to the locker room to get away from.
You had the students hollering at the recruits that were, trying to say hi to some of them, going off saying, "Save yourselves. Don't come here. Go somewhere else."
Well, and again, I just think I don't think you and I could have envisioned anything more embarrassing than tonight, and it frankly was. You couldn't muster any offense against the 14th ranked defense in the SEC, a team that's given up 30, 40, 50 points over the last several weeks. And you kicked a field goal. And the only reason you kicked a field goal is because their quarterback. Now, he almost screwed the game away at the end, throwing the ball up for grabs. And then we pick it off. I think it was New Boy that picks it off.
Yeah,
and then he gets hit from behind and fumbles it. And they recover. And it's that's how things kind of end. But, when I thought we'd seen about as bad of a situation, then we get more. Then we come back for more.
Every single time we come back for more. And I don't understand how first of all, you start Ashton Daniels and you have him go and run out there, and then you bring in Jackson Arnold for
two series.
Yeah.
And it was the same crap. Nobody even really – well, I think that was the question that I think was the second question about the quarterbacks.
Uh-huh.
He named a starter yesterday, and Ashton Daniels – look, I was glad for what Ashton Daniels was able to do against Arkansas. But but it's apparent we don't have a quarterback on this team. Like,
No.
and I just, and you know, again, it's Deuce. I know Deuce is there, but I don't know that we're going to see any of that
ever. Because here's the thing: you have Ashton Daniels, who what was it one of the last series of the game is throwing it out of bounds the entire night, and somebody asked a question about the passing game and why Auburn didn't elaborate more on that, because Kentucky hasn't been able to stop the passing game in some of their other SEC
Well,
games.
they hadn't. Yeah, I mean, at all. I mean,
but they were able to actually. They weren't even able to stop Auburn's because Auburn was stopping their own passing game. And
yeah, I just, you know, I'm going to do, like, y'all can go to our Instagram and look at the videos. The Boo Birds came out in the second quarter and the third quarter. The students have had enough. Most of them left in the third. Who stayed made sure to stay to let Hugh Freeze know when he walked into the tunnel what they thought of him.
Yep.
And what they thought of the program. And that's where we are with everything now. Like, and let me just say this right out of the gate, the offensive line was horrible. It was horrible all night in pass protection. Here's Kentucky's SEC games this season and what their opponents have scored. This is what I was looking for. You ready? 30, 35, 35, 16, and 56. Auburn kicked the field goal at home. That's what they've given up in SEC play. And look, I don't know what else to say. This shit's over. It's over. And if you want to continue to, like, it's like whether it's literally over tonight, or whether you're going to wait it out to the end of the season. Because let me just tell you something. Like, the trip to Nashville that we're going to have to go to, we're going to at least find something fun to do up there, because it ain't going to be inside Vanderbilt Stadium. Because let me tell you, they came back on Texas, and if they'd had 5 more minutes, they'd have won today. So they're pissed that they lost their second game. So guess who gets to roll into town Saturday for the bludgeoning? And again, I think our defense. You hold a team to 10. Okay, so there's 4 teams in this country. How many did SMU score on Miami today? Does anybody know? Did they score 25, I think? So maybe Miami's out of that. So maybe they're down to 3 teams nationally that have given up 24 points or less in every game, and Auburn's one of them. I think that's
SMU scored 26.
So they're out.
Yes.
So there's only 3 teams left.
28-20.
For what? Are we talking about Miami?
Yeah, SMU
or
scored
Ohio
30.
State?
Justin said SMU scored. What did you say?
28-20.
Someone needs their
There you
glasses.
go. 26-20.
I said 26.
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
needs their glasses.
Yeah, Justin, they scored 26. They didn't score 30, but they scored 26, so they're out. So who were the other teams? Ohio State,
in Indiana,
and us,
yeah,
and Miami. And we're still there. And
Yeah.
Miami's out.
Miami's out.
And so
Unbelievable. Like,
I don't really know what to say.
but again, you're holding Kentucky to 10 points, which
I mean,
but they held Auburn to 3. So I don't. This isn't.
But let's be honest about it. They didn't really give up the 3. Kentucky's defense really pitched a shutout because they made such a bad throw. Boley made such a horrific. When you're going to post those pictures. You have the best sequence on that interception. And when you showed me the picture, there's nobody in the frame but Melendez. Like, I don't know where he was throwing the ball. Like, when it was like, I couldn't believe it when he picked it off. I'm like, is he colorblind? Did he just look over and see a guy and throw it and think it was his guy? But, I don't know. This is the worst performance I can remember. And Jamie, let me just say something, man. I don't know about only beating Mercer. Have you been watching what they're doing? Like, they beat somebody unmercifully today. No, I mean, look, they score? Yeah, and I know they're not playing to this level opponents, but
Auburn can't score. And
Period.
that's how
Period.
that's literally how you
Period.
win football games, is by
Period.
being able to score points, because the points up there are what decide the record. Okay, the win, the loss is those little points. And you know what?
52 points.
If you can't score more than 3 points, you're not going to win a freaking game.
Okay, and Hugh Freeze is supposed to be an offensive guy, right?
What in the world is the play calling to not score points from an offensive-minded guy? I mean, that's where you sit there and you say,
I'm going to be honest with you, and then look.
How?
The offense, that this team had a chance to win or at least tie the game at the end, and you and I looked at each other and said, they absolutely do not deserve to win this game. And they obviously didn't. But the defense continues to put them in a position. My question was, have you lost I asked Coach Freeze, I said, have you lost the confidence of this team? Are you worried that you've lost this team? And he gave about a 2-minute answer. You can go back and watch the press conference. I know you posted it. It's uploading to our page. And then you ask him the last question about, you've been telling us all this stuff.
You keep saying you're close.
But you said, what are you going to do to start scoring points and scoring touchdowns when you get down there? And you said it nicely in a way where you basically said your play calling sucks. I mean, you said it in about the nicest way of saying that you didn't come right out and just say, hey, we appreciate the explanation, but let's just face it. Your play calling is horrendous in the red zone over the last year and a half. And he talked about it at media days about red zone efficiency and all. This ain't about the players, man. That when we got down there to score a touchdown, we had to settle for the field goal. That was the worst sequence of plays I think you could come up with. And, he said he found something in the running game. Well, hell, the running game's been there all year, except for Texas A&M, where they ran it 4 times in the first. So, I don't know. It's completely amazing.
He kept going back to saying that the offensive line is really what was struggling today, which obviously it was.
And they were.
And that, Ashton was holding on to the ball for too long.
Right.
But
Randy asked, is he the worst coach in Auburn history? And I think he is. If somehow he topped Brian Harsin. But let's evaluate this, guys. I'm not being funny. The stats don't lie. The record don't lie. Hell, Harsin was 6-2 at one point. And then the wheels fell off, if you'll remember. He went to Arkansas and beat their brains out, and then somehow came back home and lost to Mississippi State after being up 28-3. Now, that's another feat. We pull off things that are almost impossible to do. And then you bench Bo Nix because you think it's his fault that you blew a 28-3 lead. But, again, when you're comparing this, who would have thought when Auburn hired Hugh Freeze that he may be worse than Doug Barfield and may be worse than Brian Harsin? I'm just asking. Y'all, I mean, the comments are open. I would have not taken that bet. I would have said, there's no way. But he somehow cemented himself into the Mount Rushmore of crappy coaches for Auburn. And is he going to take Brian? You got to take Brian Harsin off now because you can only put 4 up there. You'll never take Tony Barbie off. He's awful. Okay, you'll never pull him down. You'll never pull Sonny Galloway down. Just god awful, horrendous coach. And then you had obviously Brian Harsin, who I think is probably still warranted to be up there. Probably somebody else gets bumped. Brian Harsin stays up there. Now we put another football coach up there in Freeze. That we have hired some of the absolute worst.
And
coaches.
and Justin just said he wasn't this bad at Liberty and Ole Miss. Cursed. I literally said before we left this place earlier today that every single offensive coach basically that comes into Auburn leaves worse than how they.
But what has he done offensively to change from when he was at Ole Miss and Liberty? Okay, you're back in the SEC now. When he was at Ole Miss, he had some great players, and he was recruiting to a high level, and then he got the job. Then all the crap went on. Then he got hired at Liberty, and he was laying up there in the hospital bed. That was another weird thing. You're laying in the hospital bed, coaching from the press. That's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So anyway, but he had a good quarterback and so forth. And then he comes to Auburn. He ain't changed anything, Faith. Like these defensive coordinators and you're back in the SEC and you are the same guy that you were 10 years ago. And so he's not changed anything. And everybody's caught on to this. And and his record keeps getting worse. What is he, 9-11? Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a roster. Here's the worst thing about this. He did revamp the roster.
Is that the roster completely did a 180.
He's not playing with crap players.
But here's the thing. You keep going out and getting these quarterbacks that were benched somewhere else. That's also where a lot of it stems from is you go and you get these quarterbacks who they've been benched at other schools. So what, you think you can be the magic wand to turn them around and be this big starting quarterback? I mean, I can't. Yes, we saw Cohen tonight.
Mad as hell as always. Like he has the worst look on his face. Like I just can't look at him. Like I walked in and he was sitting there all soured up behind my chair. You weren't even in there when you met him on the way out. But I was going to speak and I'm like, man, I'm like, you're so dang sour. I just would rather not. So, I think he's just as much to blame. I mean, and it's on him to make a decision here on what's going to happen. And do we have a decision coming tonight? He didn't even come in there tonight. Like he normally comes in there, and he didn't come in there tonight. So let's talk about some of these stats. I mean, you got to just look at the numbers.
The number 3. I mean,
well, that's really all you need to see. But you mustered up 123 passing yards and 118 rushing yards against a team. I just read off what they've been giving up. They're 14th in the league in defense. And they came to your place at night. All right, so there was another stat that came out. This is the third time in Hugh Freeze's tenure at Auburn where they went on the road and won a game.
And then come back home.
And laid the biggest egg that you could lay.
How on earth first of all, why is Auburn and Kentucky playing at night in the first place to begin with?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Then Jordan-Hare isn't even like the scary place for you to go and play anymore. It was supposed to be somewhere that you can't go in there, you can't win in there because Jordan-Hare is supposed to be this big magical place that everyone thinks is cursed and go in there. And guess what? No one's scared to go in there except Auburn. Auburn is scared to go in there. They can't even go in there and win.
Yeah, it's not a
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
What?
I mean, the fans. No, half the fans left when they should have.
B. Palmer said, I made TV tonight. Pretty sure I seen you. I'm under the goalpost. Faith and I are anchored under the goalpost pretty much every game. I got out of my sequestered press box seat and got back down on the field. Got some really good video of no offense. So glad I got back down on the field to get a bunch of 3 and outs. And so
you thought that you coming back down was going to be Auburn coming back because you were there for the first time. How did it feel to come back and just the same Auburn that?
Yeah,
you watched.
I tried to figure out something that I thought might break the jinx. And half the students did leave, Randy. I mean, it again,
and
I think all anybody comes to watch is that dang third quarter into fourth quarter pyrotechnic show. And let me just tell you, I'm sick of that too. Because when you're getting beat and everybody's swag surfing and crap,
the players.
Well, hell, I mean, why would you?
First
of all, they don't need to be doing that anyway. They need to be in a huddle over there with their coaches instead of out there dancing. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Well, and they weren't tonight, so guess what?
I'm just saying, overall.
It's obviously not the problem because they still go out there and lose.
It's still a bad deal, in my opinion, when they're out there doing that, when they ought to be over there trying to figure out how, because obviously they can't play. And they all need to be working on something. But the point is that video has played its way out on the jumbo. Let's stop playing that scary and haunted and all
Because
that crap.
it's not.
I'm just tired
It's
of that.
literally not.
Like it's dumb when you're losing every week. It's just that's just not a good look. I mean, it's all great and wonderful, but if everybody wants to go to a pyrotechnic show and a jam session, just rent the damn stadium out and just have a party. But
they're about to start having concerts in there, so you can go and do that.
Got to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Got to get something out of it.
Something positive.
Bryant said, I know it's easy for me to say, but I really feel like Auburn should give Freeze one more year. Y'all's defense is dominant. Y'all are good. And look, Brian, I know you're a Georgia fan, and I think you're trying to be objective, and I appreciate that. But I just don't know how you can keep him at this point after this. Like, to me, this is so damaging. This is such a damaging loss to this program and to Hugh Freeze. I think you forced somebody to make a decision tonight. You know, if Cohen
wasn't in that post-game press conference room, he better be going and meeting with President Roberts, to have a conversation of what the heck is going to happen between right now and Monday. Because Coach Freeze says, he's going to look at the film and they're going to reevaluate and talk on Monday.
He's got a lot of confidence he's going to be here Monday.
That's my point exactly. So if that's what John Cohen is going and doing, you need to have some sort of.
Yeah, I'm just tired of the videos. Like, I'm with you, Jason. I mean, if you're winning and you're dominating and you're on a run and all this stuff's great, but that the videos don't match what the product is anymore. You've played your way out of the hype videos. Let's just go into the fourth quarter.
And everyone keeps saying, we're close, because that's all Hugh keeps saying.
I know that's what they're all being funny. They're all being
I'm backing their point of saying, why is that the only thing that we keep hearing?
Because that's what he keeps saying.
Why? But yes, okay, we're close. And last week it was.
But nobody's really buying that anymore.
Obviously not. No one's buying it. But the point of being, we're so close, we're almost there. I really think we're going to be turning a corner. How do you think you're close in turning a corner almost of scoring 3
wins since he's been at Auburn? Name his quality wins since he's been at Auburn. I know there's only one. Yeah. And you almost blew that one, right? Up 21.
4 overtimes.
Up 21-0. And then you lose that and go into overtime. Leanne, he's got to go. I agree with you. I mean, I hate it. I don't want to look for another coach. I hate it, but you cannot keep this. And look, I think, Faith, did you get the vibe that he had kind of accepted his fate tonight in the press conference? Because
there was almost a hint of.
I just think he's saying that because he,
because we kept getting the same answer from 3 different questions, not even asked in the same way, but
somebody asked him. Somebody asked him to help me with this. Somebody asked him about, the expectation. How do you win the fans back? Did you hear the fans? You and I talked about that. And he said, well, look, I understand the expectation. I know everybody's upset. And he said, heck, I'm upset too. And I know to me, that was just a statement to kind of go, I'm bracing myself for the inevitable. And I just don't think there's any way he can hang around after this tonight. Like, this was. And, Faith, you and I kind of hinted at this in the off season with all the golf course talk and all the stuff and the priorities where they needed to be and all that kind of stuff. And we were kind of just saying, okay, maybe he's got it all under control. Maybe maybe he does. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, whatever. He has nothing under control. He has anything but this team under control. And what I watched from those players coming off that field tonight was pure embarrassment. Pure embarrassment. So, and you did say that to me too on the sideline, that the Blue Jays had outscored Auburn tonight. So if we'd have played the Blue Jays, we'd lost to them too. So now the Dodgers have surpassed the to my disappointment.
How a team like Auburn that is supposed to be some elite team.
Yeah, I mean, I got the feel too. I mean, after that, I think he's kind of accepted it. I think he kind of wants to go too.
I think it's going to be the most Auburn thing ever.
You think he resigns tonight or in the morning and just steps away? I think if I could have gotten one more question if I could have gotten one more question in, I was going to pull the trigger and say, Coach, do you think it's best if you resign and walk away from this team?
Gosh, no, you would not have said that.
I was literally going to ask that question.
Oh, jeez.
Why not ask the question? What's wrong with that? Does anybody think that's a bad question? I mean, go look at his record. Save face and help. If you cared anything about this program, you would walk away. So, I mean, it was like right there after he's like, okay, we're done with questions. And I was like, we're not going to do that. So, but everybody, I think, unanimously is saying the same thing.
Do you win? What do you do?
You have little faith, Justin. You know I'll surprise you. Yes, Brendan, I should have. I really should have. So, yeah, but Randy, what I mean by that is they work a deal out. No, he's not going to resign and not take his buyout.
Yeah, no.
He would resign. He would.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, hey, here's the deal. We'll pay you whatever, and you walk away and you resign, whatever. Like, no, I mean, he's not going to resign and lose his buyout. Absolutely not.
That comment right there really makes me think kind of him saying he wishes fans would have patience tonight.
That's all the Auburn fans have had is patience with him by showing up. And okay, I did tell you this in the first half, and I'm going to say it. I don't know how if you're an Auburn fan, you can keep coming back to this. I don't. I'm just being honest. I know you're loyal. We're all loyal, whatever. But I don't know how you keep coming back to this. Yeah, there you go. Is that a 6 spot or 5? Solo. Yep, that's what I figured. Dodgers are going to win it. I mean, that's just how it works. Yep. The best ball team in baseball. So they can go to Japan and buy a few more players. But yeah, I just think that if you're an Auburn fan, I don't see how you can tolerate coming back and watching this anymore. In the resiliency of Auburn's fan base is second to none. So just get a comment on here from a reliable source to Crane and Company saying that he was possibly getting fired. I'm sitting here saying he's possibly getting fired too. I mean, after that, that is
my reliable source over here.
Yeah. I mean,
check out this guy.
It's a pretty much given fact that you lose to Kentucky at home, that's what you get. So, yep. But I don't know that you come back to this anymore. Who gets excited? I mean, who's going to be excited to come watch Auburn and Mercer?
Who would have been excited over this kind of win though? Like over
nothing would have changed tonight.
Yeah, if Auburn would have beat Kentucky, nobody would have been excited because this Kentucky team is so god awful that you shouldn't be excited if you went and beat Kentucky. But guess what? You can't even score a touchdown to even try to beat Kentucky. I don't know. I think this is the most insane thing I've ever watched in my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wanted to watch that game go to overtime. I mean, nobody did. Thank goodness that it didn't. And now I think the bowl game is who would care what bowl game you got at this point? Nobody wants to watch this anymore. You got to go on the road to Vanderbilt.
If people are staying in Jordan-Hare just to chant to fire Hugh.
Screenshot of his tea time tomorrow, and he comments that he'll watch film Monday. If I was that terrible at my job, I would absolutely be there and told that. I thought about that, Turbo, for a minute when he said, I'll watch the film on Monday. What about tonight? If you're a coach worth your salt, you're sitting up trying to figure out how you just laid the biggest egg in the last 40 years in Jordan-Hare Stadium. like from a offensive standpoint, and how embarrassing that should have been to you as an offensive coach. But you're gonna watch film on Monday. You're gonna go watch the film on Monday because you got more important things to do tonight and tomorrow. So, the joke's on Auburn with all this, and all of these coaches that have come through, and all these bad administrative decisions to hire these. And I know some of these people aren't even here anymore. I know Alan Green's long gone. I know Stephen Leith is long gone, but those guys should have never been hired either. And they made bad decisions, and Auburn's still making bad decisions because, as was asked earlier, I think Hugh Freeze may have taken the baton from Brian Harsin on being the worst coach that's been down here. The numbers don't lie. And he's got one quality win as a head coach at Auburn. One. And it was the field storming Texas A&M game last year where they were up 21-0 and found a way to blow that and have to go into overtime and figure out a way to win that one. I mean, it has to be accurate, B. Palmer, because I think he's 9-11 in home games at home. Brandon, Brian Harsin did do better. But Freeze has better talent. He absolutely has better talent.
There is no question that he has better talent.
How many Cam had 5 catches for 34 whopping yards. Perry Thompson had 3 for 17. Omar Matson had 2 for 25, and Brandon Frazier had 2 for 16. No doubt bigger problems induced, but you got to have a future QB too. I don't know. Tonight proved that we don't have a quarterback on this roster. Because seriously, you were going to ask that question. What good did it do to take Ashton out at that point and put Jackson Arnold in for those 2 series?
And all he says,
did he think that was going to miraculously change things?
He was like, "Oh yeah, we thought we could use Jackson's legs on a few of those plays."
Mergen, the line was horrible. Like the offensive line, like it was the worst performance I think I can remember by an offensive line. Like I told Faith early in the game, I said, when you and I were talking about what was going on, I said, well, he don't have any time. Like he literally was having no time to throw. And, I know it's asking a lot of Kel Ellis to be the center at 17 years old in this league, even against Kentucky, but he had a terrible night tonight. The pass rush up the middle, the max protect, all of it is – wow, is that gone? Sorry, I'm watching that Vlad leadoff double. So, anyway, Wayne, go get Indiana's coach. That ain't happening. Indiana's paid out the yin-yang for him, and I think he's going to be where he is because I'm going to tell you another thing. This is a legit point to talk about, everybody. If you're Kirk Cignetti at Indiana, why would you leave Indiana to come to Auburn? First of all, the pressure is way more here. The competition is way tougher. And you just got paid $1 bazillion to coach at Indiana where the competition's nowhere near. And Indiana's never been really good in football anyway. So now you're sitting here going, why would I leave Indiana? I know that's crazy to say, but why would you walk into this fire where you got Georgia and Alabama on the schedule every year, and now you've got all these other teams that are rotating? I don't know who takes the job right now, to be honest. That's a bad, bad position. LSU's the same boat. Everybody wants to talk about the SEC it is the hardest conference. So who's just lining up? The paydays are good, but it's going to be hard to get like a Cignetti or somebody from these schools where they've built something and then they leave and come into, it's just crazy. I don't know. It's a hard decision to make, but they're just not going to do I don't see you getting that. So I don't know who Auburn gets. I know we keep hearing Summerall and all that. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, what has he done? So I don't. It makes no sense to me. I don't know who we get. Before tonight, Kentucky had given up something like 172 points. Yeah, I read. We read it all off. You're right. Yeah, you ain't getting Signetti, man. But all y'all can just temper that down. That ain't coming. So I don't know. At the end of the day, Matt, so you get for an AD. You know, Auburn's going to have to go get a guy that's another up and comer. Faith, I hate to be that way, and when I mean up and comer, it has to be like a Summerall. But everybody's wanting Summerall too. Like LSU's trying to get him, Florida's trying to. I mean, what's Lane Kiffin doing? You know, is Lane Kiffin going to stay at Ole Miss, or is he going to get enticed away by somebody else? I mean, there's going to be about 10 or 12 jobs open now, and ours is going to be one of them. I truly feel like. So we're in the middle of the fray. So what does it look like? Who is out there? And I said that this week. We all said that this week. Who is out there? Who are you just chomping at the bit to go get?
Yeah, to go and get.
Yeah, Kiffin should break the bank because he's like the hot commodity right now. He's the guy. And Auburn almost had him 3 years ago. And his daughter screwed that up. And now he's been complaining the last 2 years about Ole Miss and their fan support. So,
I mean, even tonight, though, you go and you look at Auburn's fans that came out tonight, and even the fans that waited to boo Hugh Freeze off and to say some things, that is more than what Ole Miss gets when you're beating certain teams. And that's coming from somebody that's been to a bunch of Ole Miss games that you go and you watch, and they're having a great season. Nobody goes there. And that's something that Lane Kiffin is just more than pissed about.
Lane is going to the playoff this year, so he can get there with Ole Miss. Can you excuse what he wants to go somewhere else? Somewhere he can. Why would he leave there? I don't know, Justin. Don't jinx it, bro. I know, and I'm watching it over here out of the corner, and I'm just hoping that something good can happen. I don't. John said Florida's room to go after Georgia's DC. Well, good luck. Go get that guy. I mean, please. The offense. I said this week a million times. It is amazing. They just won the World Series. Dodgers just won it on a double play. Wow. Unbelievable. So, yeah, I just sealed it off right there. So, God, they're despicable. I hate them. Yeah, Tulane, they did lose pretty bad, I think, yesterday. But, I mean, again, I don't know. It's a bad look down here at Auburn right now. I don't know what the answer is. And, you know, everybody wants to fire Hugh Freeze, and I think it's the right thing to do at this point because he is absolutely not doing what he's supposed to do as the head football coach, and this program is not getting better under his leadership. And I don't see a way out of it under his leadership. So
what leadership does he bring to
I don't know of any.
program?
I don't think he brings any leadership to this program.
Recruiting. Yeah. But anything else? But he's supposed to be some offensive-minded guy. How many times do we have to say that? But, like, what has he brought there?
I don't know. All right, we'll start wrapping it up. I know, God Almighty, there's a lot of people watching, and I know y'all are pissed, and everybody else is pissed. Brandon said Dan Campbell, offer him whatever you got to from the Detroit Lions. I like Dan Campbell. I really do. I don't want Kenny Dillingham. I mean, it's just me personally. A lot of you may want him, but
Jackson, I'm glad, or not Jackson, Justin, I'm glad that you said it's basketball season because everyone needs to look at PepperTree for the new Outlive Steak Burger.
yes.
And this post-game reaction show brought to you by PepperTree Steaks and Wine. Their 8-ounce steak burger topped with the signature tiger sauce with a bunch of goodies on a brioche bun. And each proceeds from each sale go to support Outlive Cancer and the Bruce Pearl Family Foundation. So that's just something that, we wanted to say because the Bruce Pearl and Pearls were over at PepperTree just last week trying their new Outlive Steak Burger. And so go over to PepperTree in either PepperTree Montgomery or off Bank Creek in Auburn.
We appreciate them so very much. Thank you, Kathy and Paula and
we could not
Kim and Jeff, all of you guys, man. Y'all are phenomenal. And if you guys have not been to PepperTree Steaks and Wine, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you haven't been there yet. So
okay, we just got back the quotes from the presser, and the quote about the locker room right now is very ticked off. And obviously these guys mean, and I mean everyone, nobody likes to lose, especially losing at home in front of a community and crowd that deserves a lot better, is really disappointing for us. What kind of, there's no fire. There's no. Nothing.
I just, it goes back to the simplicity of that. We really scored 3 points against Kentucky at home. I don't know that it gets much worse. I don't really look. The rest of the games this year don't matter. They don't. It's about the program. And I told you last Saturday when we were at PepperTree during the post game, the win over Arkansas was not a win over anybody Arkansas got beat by Mississippi State tonight. If you want to pour gas on a fire that's already blazing, you still have beat nobody. And then you just lost to who was in the bottom of the league. So guess what? You are now the bottom of the league. You are dead bottom 16. You are at the complete bottom.
Kentucky has the 14th defense in the SEC.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Brandon Frazier on the offensive struggles in the postgame. Okay. We didn't stay for some of the players. Okay. I don't think we sustained the drive really. We started backed up a couple of times and got 1 first down, but you got to give props to Kentucky's defense. They're good up front, stop the run, and they did that early on to us. I thought we responded well towards the end of the half, but at the end of the day, we've got to put points on the board, and we just didn't do that. Kentucky's defense is ranked 14th in the SEC, and you're telling me that they did so good and they stopped y'all.
They came to your place and did it. They came in here at night and did it. To me, that's the nail in the coffin for this program right now. Kentucky fans that travel down here, they had a great time. But, when they're out there, you didn't do anything. You came in here and literally beat the team that just took your place at the bottom. I mean, I know you wanted a win, and it's always better to win than lose, but you didn't beat anybody. Auburn, to me, another part of this with Hugh Freeze, Faith, is that he couldn't build off of a win last week. He couldn't take a win, albeit it was against Arkansas, but the defense won the game, and your offense did show a little life. And McPherson had a really good night or day kicking the ball. You couldn't even find a way to build momentum into the week to come back home and win a game against one of the worst teams in this conference, if not the worst team in the conference. Maybe not now. We've taken that mantle. But that's so you have no power over this team to build off anything positive.
There's not on the offensive side, there is not something that anyone can look at and say, wow, they really excelled in this area.
This
was a really big turning point. What? This guy what?
No, he just can't win.
Oh.
Period. He's never going to be. He cannot. He just can't even beat teams he's better than. Like, he lost to a team tonight on his home field to a roster that is way better than what Kentucky's is. Way better. And you got basically shut out offensively. If Kentucky had not handed you a gift in one of the worst throws, and Connor Boley tried to give the game away. He tried to give, personally, 2 bad throws, 2 picks. Then they got that one back, though, that New Boy. But again, my mind's kind of all over the place about the players and who, I don't know where they go. How do you show back up? I mean, I know you got to finish, but what are you doing Monday to go back to practice? That was my question. It goes back to my question.
He thinks he's going to practice.
But I'm not even talking about Hugh Freeze. I'm talking about the players. How do you get up emotionally to go back out there and do what you've been doing, banging your head against a concrete block wall over and over to get these results? Like, at some point in time, like, I know everybody's got their own self-respect, and I appreciate the defense and what DJ Durkin's done. But at some point in time, they're going like, man, I ain't going to keep doing this.
For some offense that's about to.
It's the worst performance of the year.
Against
the year.
And what, you're in week 8, 9? I don't even know what week it is anymore.
Well, you were 4-4, and now you're 4-5.
So week 9.
Yep.
You're supposed to, what, from week 1 to week 2 is supposed to be the biggest change in your team. You're in week 9, starting a new quarterback.
Justin said Philip said he's safe for the rest of the year. I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, Psyche's asleep. Yeah, he'd be a lot better off being asleep than talking about Auburn football. All right, so to close it out here tonight, we appreciate all of you so much. I knew going to be a lot of you on here. Xavier Atkins continues to be a beast. I'll talk about something positive. He had 8 total tackles tonight. Guy's a machine. Like, I looked at you one time. I said, he made every tackle on the field. Like, it just was one after another, after another, after another. This is a shame. Guys, I hate to say this kind of like as the death knell, but these receivers, I remember how excited everybody was that Hugh Freeze signed these guys: Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, Malcolm Simmons, Bryce Cain. Where's Bryce Cain? Is he even on the team anymore? I know he is. I'm being funny. But, I mean, he was the Freeze 4. And you did. You went out and got all these good recruits and all. The problem is he can't do anything with them. He can't.
Because you don't have a quarterback.
He can't. But his play callings is equal to blame.
You're right.
His play calling is equal to the poor play of the quarterbacks. And look, Ashton Daniels obviously tonight showed he is nowhere near the answer.
He's not the guy either.
He's not the answer. Jackson Arnold sure as hell ain't the answer. So I don't know what you do. Do you just roll the dice and play deuce the rest of the year and say, what?
Not with you. If he's going to be doing that.
Are you figure out a way for Kingston Pree or Benjamin Russell to graduate 3 years early and come on down here and play? Because I'm telling you, he's better right now than what we have on the roster. I'm not afraid to say it. I hate to be that way, and I know that's probably like people are laughing and stuff. But that kid, I would roll the dice with him before I would the rest of these guys. Now, outside of Deuce, I would put Deuce out there. But I don't need to see any more of Ashton Daniels and Jackson Arnold. And again, this is exactly. Chris, he can start the rest of the year. That's my point. We're now down to 3 games. He's already played.
How are we here?
Huh?
How are we here?
I don't know. It's the worst ever. And, I think Alabama fans are loving it all. And that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not even about anybody else anymore.
I feel bad for all the recruits.
I don't think anybody on the offensive side of the football as a top recruit wants to come play for this. Why would you? So if all of you thinking that keeping Hugh Freeze to keep recruits and all is the answer, I think that is far from the choice. I think what it is that if you are a semblance of a good offensive player, you don't want to come to this mess. This is the biggest debacle offensive. Now, if you're Tank Jones was here tonight, and some of those guys, they keep showing up because this defense is elite, man. They held Kentucky to 10 points and lost. Their team lost when they gave up 10 points to the worst team in the league because the offense was so bad. I mean, the offensive line is bad. There's no doubt. You know what, though, Brian? Tonight,
17
it was the worst of all of them. Like, they've had some bad games, and then they've kind of had some better games. But tonight, I just told Faith on the sideline when we were talking about get rid of the ball, I said, he has no time to get rid of the ball tonight. They're not blocking a soul. And Jeremiah, I didn't say he's going to Auburn. I'm just saying he keeps showing up because he looks at DJ Durkin and so many other guys, Nolan Smith and all those guys go, man, if Auburn could figure out offensively, man, I could see myself playing down here because that guy can coach it up on defense. He can. That's why they keep showing up. But they're not going to – they want to win, though. They absolutely want to win. So, but you don't have I'm with you, Apollo. I think there is going to be a mass exodus of players coming. And I don't know how you prevent it. Yeah, and you're right. I think the only way you can prevent it is you get a guy in here that everybody believes in and goes, okay, they made a great hire there, and yes, I can get behind that guy and I'll play for him. So the portal does go both ways. But again, I don't know who would want to come to this right now on offense. Defensively, again, at the end of the day, just being good on defense isn't going to win out over being a good, complete team. So, yeah, your stats look great defensively and all that, and players are making plays. Xavier Atkins is light years ahead of where he's been and continues to get better. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to win, and they're not going to win with Lane Kiffin, period. That's the final comment for me.
You're not going to win with Lane Kiffin.
What was that?
You just said that?
I mean, he frees. Probably ain't going to win with Lane either. So, you know what I meant. All right, you're not going to win with Hugh Freeze. You're just not going to win with it. He's 2.5, almost 3 years now of a sample size.
Actually, 3 years ago yesterday, Auburn fired Brian Harsin.
Okay.
3 years ago yesterday on Halloween. And
scary, right? There's a lot of scary things going on around Auburn. So, all right. Anything else you want to close out with? We've almost been on an hour. So, again, we can't thank PepperTree enough for being the partner here on the show. Hey, look, all of you out there watching, go to PepperTree Steaks and Wine, please. We shouldn't have to tell you to go. You should want to go because the food is unbelievable. The wine selection is phenomenal. They got everything you want. It's really a cool place. Faith's excited because they got all the Christmas stuff out. She's going to go buy everything in the store. So
I already bought some stuff. If
you don't get over there, it's all going to be purchased. Yep, nail in the coffin tonight. That's it. I think it's at the lowest in my lifetime. So 2012 was bad. Jason and I talked about that. 2012 was a horrific year. I mean, and the miracle of turning around in 13 the way Auburn did was just crazy. But the problem is Auburn's been known to do that. 2008, 9 were bad. You win a national championship in 10. 2012 was bad. You go play for a national title in 13. 15 and 16 were mediocre. You turn around and go to the SEC championship in 17. Now Auburn, they can't get out of the funk now. They've historically been able to do it, but they just can't do it now. So, all right, I'm out. So, anything else, Faith?
No. Hope everyone has a great night.
That was convincing, wasn't it?
We'll see you on Monday.
Yeah. Hey, look, we will be on.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we probably will be. I'm just going to go ahead and say now. I don't know how you don't make an announcement after this. If you really don't give a crap, I'm just going to go ahead and say that you really are just don't care. I mean, why would you not go ahead and be prepping and figuring out what you're going to do moving forward? How much more of this you got to see? I think you got to do it for the players, man. I think the players have had enough. I think they've listened to this to the point where it's on deaf ears now, and nothing he says is gonna resonate. Gonna register with them. It's not going to resonate with them anymore. I think he's talked out. So
the War Tigers have really done it for everybody.
Yep. So, all right, guys, appreciate it so very much. All of you out there that tune us in. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. We would appreciate it. And make sure you hit the like button. It helps us out tremendously. And again, thanks to all of you so very much. Faith, send us out. I know you have already.
The best night ever.
Hey, the sun will come up tomorrow, so we'll be with you probably tomorrow to discuss if there's some major announcements. So we'll be with you tomorrow. For more Auburn Blitz, everybody have a fun and safe